Rocketing towards San Diego, this is your look at the Diamond Select Toys, Vinimates of the Rocketeer SDCC exclusive. Stepping off the silver screen, the Vinimates vinyl figure of the Rocketeer from Diamond Select Toys is 4 inches tall and packs in a lot of detail. Sculpted in the classic Minimates block figure style, it features an articulated neck and comes packaged in a full-color window box. Now, before we take to the skies and have a look at the SDCC exclusive of the Rocketeer, the first thing we're going to want to do is figure out how tall the figure actually stands. I'd also like to send a big thank you to the folks over at Diamond Select who provided this very limited release of the Rocketeer that we could have a look at in this review. The figure stands, or Vinimates stands, 4.7 inches in height, and that translates to centimeters at being a 12-inch tall figure. Yes, as I said, this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive presented from the folks over at Diamond Select. It's very, very limited at only 300 copies worldwide. That's a staggering low number. Now, this guy was released as a regular version of the Rocketeer, and I don't unfortunately have that, but if I do eventually pick it up, I'll definitely do a follow-up video and I'll compare the two. Picking up the figure itself, I keep wanting to call it a figure, but essentially it's a blocky staction Vinimate. But if you had managed to pick up the standard release Rocketeer, the difference between the two is that the helmet would have been closer to being all gold. You can see this is a slightly more brighter, lighter color of gold that they've used for his helmet. And as well as the aviator jacket didn't have all the additional lighting all over it. I believe also his jacket was slightly darker. Mostly I've noticed between looking at this one and then comparing notes to the one that was the regular released version that was available in all comic book stores and specialty stores, the Comic-Con exclusive seems to have all this additional lighting that they put especially on the boots, the gloves, like I said, these little additional panel lines that they put all over the aviator jacket, and most importantly, also the helmet as well, which is a lot brighter of a color. There is enough changes, I feel, with this one and the standard release to still go out and search and hunt down the original release, because I've always been a big fan of the Rocketeer. One thing I really like about this one is we spin this around, and though really the jetpack is exactly the same, again, on the standard release, I do like that in both cases they've got the little wad of chewing gum. Those are sometimes small details that frequently can get overlooked, but I like the fact they actually put that in there. The jetpack is generally more of a matte gray. It doesn't, as you can see, reflect any light whatsoever. He has also the additional thrusters already firing off rocket fire. As you can see, he's blasting off to the sky. And again, it's based on the old styling of the Minimates. If you've ever been a big fan of Minimates, I collected them. Like, I have boxes and boxes of Minimates I haven't even opened up. I really should get around to reviewing those, I feel. But like the old vintage Vinimates, they're still going around nowadays. Vinimates are basically like looking like this, and they're just larger versions of the Minimates. The Minimates were roughly about this size. The same design, same look, same feel, but just a little bit smaller, and they were a lot more articulated. The Vinimates essentially take the design and style of the Minimates, shrink or increase the size of them, and then kind of make them more like staction figures. There is technically a little bit of posability to speak of on the Rocketeer himself, as he does have posability in his head. I've seen some of the Vinimates not have posability at all, so I'm really happy to see that they actually incorporated that to specifically the Rocketeer. And while it's really only just in his head, he doesn't have posability to speak of in his arms, or in his legs, or in his waist. I mean, the majority of it, he is a pre-posed, kind of an action-posed figurine. I do, again, like the idea of having his head slightly posed, so I think when it comes to displaying him, I'll probably have his head just slightly tilted off to the side. I feel like they could have also thrown in his little side gun, his firearm as well, but he is a really neat-looking Vinimate. I keep wanting to call them Minimates, but because, again, I've always been a big fan of the Minimate design and style. This one isn't that much different than the one that we would have gotten in a regular release, standard release, other than, again, like the colors are just slightly different with, again, that additional highlights and the panel line that they've incorporated into his jacket and his helmet, and as well as in his pants. Now, you may or may not be able to see in the video here, but at the very top of the box of the Vinimates Rocketeer, there's a silver foil. And that says the Rocketeer, one of 300 limited release, a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So this guy is pretty hard to come by. Obviously, the way that things worked right now globally with the world, unfortunately, SDCC didn't exist this year. So a lot of companies now were trying to find other ways of getting their exclusives out. I'm just thankful the fact that Diamond Select was able to send this one my way. They must have known I was a big fan of the Rocketeer. And looking how good this one turned out makes me think now I want to source out and find the standard release Rocketeer that would have been available in specialty stores, comic book stores, and online that would have had notably the darker aviator jacket, closer to the figure of what we gotten from Diamond Select, the more metallic gold helmet. Here, this one, however, if you sort of look at the back of the box that I've conveniently put here in Final Looks, I feel like this one resembles a little closer to the art styling of the poster. That lighter color of gold, those dark panel lines that they incorporated into the suit, I feel like it's sort of more mirroring that design style and not so much the way that Rocketeer looks in the movie. So I do really like this one quite a bit. With certainly Vinimates as it goes, they're blocky, they're stocky, they don't have posability, but there's a charm that goes along with them, I feel. I've always been a big fan of Mini-Mates. I really should get back into reviewing Mini-Mates, because in the beginning of my days doing reviewing, I did a lot of Mini-Mate reviews. Now I'm sort of reliving the joy that I get from the Mini-Mate collecting by looking at the Vinimates, which again are just bigger versions of them. They don't have the posability to speak of, but they still have all the charm that I really enjoyed with the Mini-Mates, essentially. Now again, this one is very, very limited. You could probably still easily get the regular release. In fact, I checked around to a couple of online sites where I think I'm probably going to order it from, and it's very easy to come by. He's a regular released Vinimate. This one is a little harder to come by, 300 pieces, so I guess your best bet to find and source this one out, if you're a big fan of the Rocketeer, is probably checking around to third-party places like eBay and places like that. Just hopefully don't pay too much more for them. I mean, again, if you already have the standard release, don't pay an absolute fortune to get the exclusive release unless you're a big fan of the Rocketeer. Me being a big fan of the Rocketeer, if I already had the standard release, I probably would shell out the additional dollars, I think, to pick up this guy, because I do like how different he is from the standard release. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of the SDCC exclusive of the Rocketeer Vinimate. And again, a big thank you to the folks over at Diamond Select who provided the sample that we had a look at in this review. If you guys certainly would like to check out more from Diamond Select, you can head on over to their YouTube page. I'll provide the link down below in the video description. It's the best place to get that early sneak peek look at all the stuff they got brewing, not only for convention exclusives, but the regular releases that you'll find in comic book stores, specialty stores, and online as well. And also, if you're a fan of the channel, enjoying the content you're seeing on a regular basis, most definitely consider the idea of hitting that subscribe button down below, turning on the bell notification, and keeping your peepers peeled to this channel Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when new videos will be popping up. Gonna have a look at a whole bunch of new Diamond Select reviews coming your way, coming soon to this channel. So as always, keep those peepers peeled. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.